In today's junk journal with me, I'm going to be using the prompt of flow from the Junk Journal January challenge to inspire the page that I'm going to make. Hey, it's Meg, welcome back to my channel. We're doing day 16 of the challenge. I can't believe we're over halfway already. I am so enjoying it. And when I tell you guys, this journal is getting so chunky, so chunky. I haven't even reached like the halfway point because I keep getting too excited and I'm like tipping things in, as you'll have seen. I keep adding bits of everything and envelopes and half envelopes. But it's getting so chunky, and I just love when it starts to feel like that, when it starts to feel a bit lived in and you've got all the scraps kind of overflowing from everywhere. So this page, I was definitely feeling that vibe of, I feel like I'm in the flow with this journal now. I feel like I'm kind of getting my groove, so I feel like it's a nice prompt to have for this halfway point of the challenge. And I hope if you've been either dipping your toes in and out of the prompts, or if you've been following along every day, hopefully you feel like you're getting into a bit of a flow now that we've been doing a couple of weeks of the challenge. It's always such a good way to start off the new year with this creative practice. And so for flow, I wasn't really thinking of anything in particular. I was kind of just using it as a way to sit down and just have that mindset of going with the flow, I suppose. So it's kind of a really open-ended prompt in a way, and it's a good one to be able to think, okay, well, I'm just going to try anything and almost ask that what if question. So, what if I just added these bits of paper here, or if I used a certain colour? So I was just grabbing bits from the pile of papers that I've got that's becoming quite unwieldy. I think I'm going to have to sort out the scrap pile that is slowly building. I was so organised at the start of this challenge, and it's kind of descending a little bit into chaos. I don't know if you're feeling the same. If you put together a kit, I'm definitely going to need to do a little bit of a organisational moment with that, because it's just getting so overwhelming. But what I was saying is I was going to pull out some of the bits that I'd kind of picked out for other pages and had then thought, no, maybe I won't use that. So for example, that floral piece there, I had started cutting it out thinking I wanted to use it for another page, but then it was something that I put to one side and had abandoned. So I wanted to come back to it and see what I could use it for on this page. And I thought, what if I don't want to fussy cut the entire thing? What if I just cut half of it off? So that's what I did, and I actually quite like the effect of just having half of the illustration there on this page, especially because you've got that contrast between the one I've stuck on kind of feels like it's popping out of the page a bit, and then you've got the illustration that's already on the background page. So here I am just asking the question what if, and trying out different papers here and auditioning them almost on the page. So maybe I'll have some crumpled tissue paper or some crumpled tracing paper for a more translucent effect. And I thought, no, I'm not sure about that one. So I was going back to my pile of scraps and seeing what I could pull out that might work with this page, because this one was interesting because I didn't want to cover up too much of what was going on, because I really did like the illustration. So I really wanted to try and work on it, but work with it and lean into it. So you'll see where I do my collaging, it's mostly in the border area of this page. So here, going up the right hand side, I'm really concentrating on the edges so that it almost becomes a bit of a frame really for the piece that's sort of a background element as well. But I just didn't want to cover those really beautiful flowers in the background there. So that's why I made the decision to be careful where I was placing things, and even having more translucent elements with this faux washi as well, because you can still see bits peeking through. And then of course my favorite stamp that I'm using throughout this journal, I just love this one for adding some details, and especially when you stamp it a few times and then you get more of a ghosted effect, so it's a little bit lighter. I really like the way that that looks as well, especially on the edge of a page, as if it's kind of trailing off and you don't get like a really harsh clean stamp. It's a bit more rustic. And then I have these tapes, PET tapes, that I wanted to cut a few bits off and just see whether I could layer them onto the page as well and sort of build up a little bit of depth and dimension, because things were feeling a little bit flat, so I just wanted to add some different textures here. So I really like these because they're matte, they're not shiny, so they're really nice to use in my collages. Well, the images are shiny, but they're not super like high gloss. They are a lot more matte, so they don't stand out as much on the page. Maybe they're more of a satin. Satin's probably a good way to describe it. It's not like a super reflective high gloss photo effect, but it's probably not a true matte either, but it's very close to that, so it doesn't feel as distracting on my page. And then I knew I definitely wanted to add some text onto this page as well, and I was thinking about how I could do this because I'd made the left-hand page so busy that I couldn't add anything else to it really. So the piece that I cut out at the start of this video, I decided to use it on the right-hand side, and the patchworky page with the green and the pink piece and the brown tape in the middle, I decided to almost let that speak for itself a little bit and just stapled this on the top. So it does give me the option if, I don't know, maybe I want to do some hidden journaling underneath, or even if I want to do some extra bits underneath, I can do. It's not kind of fixed on the top of the page, so it does give me options by stapling it there. But then I had some white space where I could come in and add some writing. So I just have a quote here that I've pulled from Pinterest that says, "Where focus goes, energy flows." So I thought that was a nice sentiment for this page and for the mindset of how I was working on this journal page. And I'm just using a Unipin brush pen to write this, and I was really taking my time and being quite intentional with how I wanted this to look, and I made sure that the word flow was bigger and stood out on this page. I think I was inspired by the creativity takes courage writing that I had done on a previous page in this journal, and I really liked the bold effect. So that's what I did for this prompt of flow. Thank you as always for joining me for this journal with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.